Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to your essay writing and presentation skills class. Today we are to discuss another very exciting thing about presentation skills, and I am to hide that with you for now because I have kept it as a surprise for you. Remember, in the previous lecture we had been talking about that how you can overcome nervousness when doing a presentation and when doing a PowerPoint presentation especially. You were to think about only your topic of presentation, because presentation is not about you, that's about your topic. So your main concentration was to go on the topic rather than you being the center of attention for everyone. Of course, people are looking at you. People are looking at you as one very confident and very smart person. They want you to succeed. Of course, the people or the audiences sitting in your presentation are not your enemies, and they want you to succeed somehow. So you were to remember that you are supposed to stand confidently to make sure that if your thinking is positive, only you can achieve, only in that way you can achieve positive results by the end of your presentation. So once you have gathered a lot of content, the relevant content for your presentation, and once you look motivated, if you are confidently standing on the stage, if the visuals, if the audios and visuals are appropriate and related and relevant to your presentation, and so on and so forth, if you know that how to relax yourself before you begin your presentation, if you are prepared well, you are going to go good throughout your presentation, and of course you will enjoy your presentation as well as your audience will enjoy it too. So to begin with today's lecture, today is your 31st lecture. That was a surprise, but I have to disclose it anyhow. In today's lecture, we are going to thoroughly see some sample presentations which are going to be very, very helpful for you once you are going to pick up one sample, or once you are going to see these samples that I am going to show you on the screen as one models of making your presentations better. So we are to go on with it. Now let's see, the samples that I'm going to share with you have been made by the winners of the world's best presentation contest, and in these presentations you will see the use of pictures and graphics, how the pictures have been inserted and how the graphics are being inserted in the whole presentation, the big fonts to emphasize on words about which these winners they wanted to talk about. Of course, these presentations are communicating one major theme and they are about one major idea. We are to see that how these presenters have made these presentations look beautiful, and this is how they got the best world's best presentation contest winners. And then the minimal text is common. So we will see that so much of the text in these presentation is common. There is a variety of words that the presenters and the makers of and the creators of these presentations have been using the varieties of words to make or to convey their message to their audiences. Now these great designs will give you some inspiration for your PowerPoint presentation. So that's why as I told you in the beginning of our semester that we will see some of the sample presentations and some of the sample videos as well, which will enhance your understanding of how to make good presentation, and they will also inspire you to make one good presentation on your own. So without wasting time, let me show you your sample number 1, the best sample of the winners, the world's best presentation contest winners. This is example number 1. Let's see that in detail. Thirst. Thirst is a verb, intransitive, to feel a need to drink, to have a strong desire for something. Did you know? We are all water creatures. It makes up 70% of your brain, 80% of your blood. While you can go almost a month without a food, your body can't survive 1 week without water. The same water that existed on Earth billions of years ago still exists today. It covers most of the planet, but just 3% is fresh water. And most of that is ice. Less than 1% of all fresh water is readily accessible for human use. To put it another way, less than 0.007% of all the water on earth is available to drink. Did you know that? A quarter of all the clean water that enters your home is used to flush toilets. One toilet flush uses 3 gallons. A single load of laundry, 40 gallons. 10-minute shower, 50 gallons. Brushing with the tap running, 4 gallons. Brushing without the tap off, 0.25 gallons. Did you know? A water crisis is looming. Our water sources are under pressure. In the 20th century, the world's population tripled. The use of water grew 6. By mid-century, there will be an additional 1 billion people. Most of will be born in countries Most will be born in countries already experiencing water shortages. What will that mean for water use? The Los Angeles basin can support about 1 million people with its own water. By the year 2020, the population is expected to reach 22 million. El Paso and San Antonio could run out of water in 10 to 20 years. Central Florida could run out in less than 5. Did you know? Millions of people in the world live on less than 3 gallons each day. The average American uses about 160 gallons. 25 million refugees were displaced by contaminated rivers last year. That's more than were forced to flee from war zones. 1 in 3 people lack access to adequate sanitation. 1 in 5 don't have access to safe drinking water. According to UN, a child dies from a water-related disease every 15 seconds. The emerging worldwide water shortage is serious. It's been said we are going to run out of water before we run out of oil. Due to overpumping, the groundwater in several countries is almost gone. Depleted aquifers led to cutbacks in grain harvests, which lead to more food shortages and higher prices. China is already developing large grain deficits, as are India, Pakistan, and Egypt. Our water problem is fast becoming a hunger problem. What does it all mean? It's a thirsty world. Industry is thirsty. Agriculture is thirsty. We are thirsty. What will be the straw that breaks the camel's back? It's time to give water a second thought. Use less, save more, advocate always. Now you know what is a thirst. Thank you. Welcome back. I hope you have enjoyed watching sample video number 1. You would have seen different kinds of graphics being used in the presentation along with the text that was very large, as to make sure, because these kind of presentations once made for the contests, these are usually displayed in the huge auditoriums where there are number of thousands of people are sitting and their attention on the screen only. Now in such cases, presenters, they usually hide away from the screen. Only the screen is available, or the screen is visible for the audiences to see that how they can comment on them. Now see that how they have used these people who have made this presentation, how they have used these graphics and how they have used these texts to elaborate and to enhance their idea for their what do you call them, audiences. So you would have seen that how their presentation revolved around only one basic aim, that was thirst, and from so many angles they have tried to show that how people are suffering, how children are suffering, how different countries are suffering, how industry, agriculture, everything is suffering because of the lack of water. And if the condition of water is going to go like this in the coming years also, this is going to become one very bad problem for all of us. So see how appealing and how captivating this presentation was. I hope that was an inspiration for you, and I'm yet to share with you more presentations and more sample presentations from which you can get this inspiration, and I hope you will not hesitate to make your one presentation look good. Now there are some good presentation secrets that you are supposed to keep in mind, and I wanted to share them with you while we are heading towards the end of our semester, and I hope that you have learned a lot. In addition to that, I just wanted to share these secrets with you so that you can become the expert presenters of your class. So the number one secret that I want to share with you regarding how you can make your presentations look good is that what is the one big idea you want to leave with your audience. It should be short, memorable, and in subject verb object sequence. Now see how the first secret of making the presentation is that you are going to leave one big idea for your audience. Now your main target and your target of giving the presentation should be that you are going to leave one big idea with your audiences. Now that has to be short and memorable, which audiences can remember easily. And that should be in subject, verb and object sequence. So this is how you can make your idea memorable for your audiences, and they can concentrate on that what you want to present, or what exactly is the topic on which you are giving your presentation. As we have seen sample number 1, it clearly focused on number 1, presenting the idea, the big idea, one big idea around which the people can remember that what that presentation was and how it looked to the audiences. So see, the previous presentation, the previous sample that I have shown you was related to water crisis, or in other words, thirst. So this thirst has been targeted in the previous sample, and we will see in upcoming samples how the makers and the creators of the presentation revolve around only one subject. Now, second thing that you are supposed to keep in mind is to identify why you are excited about this topic, company, product and feature, etc. So here you are to go with your verbal as well as your non-verbal expressions, and you are supposed to tell them that why are you so much enthusiastic to represent this topic. Now that I was so much enthusiastic to share these slides with you because I believe that these slides are going to be very, very inspirational for you, and this is how I want to make it sure that my enthusiasm and my motivation is also conveyed and it is also transferred into you. So this is how once you are presenting on the stage, try to see that along with your content that you are presenting, you also should look good, and you also should look motivated and excited about any topic, any company, any product or any feature that you are explaining in front of your audiences. Now the third secret that you can or you are supposed to keep in mind is to write out the 3 messages you want the audiences to receive and develop metaphors and analogies in support. So now at least try to pick up 3 messages that you want your audience to receive. Now they can be the subcategories of the major message. As you see, after every 4 or 5 or 6 slides in the previous sample presentation that we have seen, there was one slide slide carrying this word, did you know? So that was to elaborate one, or that was to talk about one new idea that was related to the main idea of thirst in their presentation. And you are also to develop metaphors and analogies in support. So you can support your main ideas with the help of analogies and your metaphors. Now include a demonstration if your product topic lends itself to such. So you are supposed to also take care of the demonstration if your topic is like, if it needs a kind of a demonstration. Like for example, if you are talking about any usage of machinery, or if you are telling any process of how to use one product that is that you have recently launched in the market, so try to give them demonstration or demo for that. For example, pull the product out of your pocket if it's a pocket size. As I've told you in the previous lecture as well, that these kind of practical kind of scenarios, they help your audiences learn more and learn better. Why? Because you are in a you are standing on the stage where you can attract the attention of your audiences by showing them anything that is what you are going to talk about. So if the product or any material or any thing that is available as a model, for example, I told you in the previous lecture, if you are going to talk about this mouse, try to make sure that you are going to carry this mouse to to show it to the audiences, so that they are going to know that how your product looks like, and then you can elaborate its functions in front of them. So this is how you can demonstrate things in front of your audiences. Invite partners and customers to participate. Now these partners and these customers are your audiences. Now invite your audiences to participate in your presentation as you are moving on along to present something good. Include video clips, it's if helpful, but limit to 3 minutes or less. Your video clips, whatever you are adding in your presentation, should not be more than 5 minutes, because once sometimes try to engage your class into something that they are supposed to watch, and you can hide behind the rostrum, or you are not visible to them. Sometimes they lose their interest. So try to make sure that the video clips that that they are watching should not be more than 5 minutes. And even if that is more than 5 minutes, try to pause it at one moment, and then you are going to discuss that with your audiences, and then you are going to move on. The idea of showing movies during your presentations is not a very good idea if the resource person or if the presenter is not available at that point. Answer the why should I care, that's the audience's mind. So why should I care, this is what is according to, or this is what is coming from the audience's mind, that why should they care about your presentation. Have a passion for creating a better future, because you want to show them, in other words, you can say that tell them clearly the objectives and the aims of your presentation, so that they can focus on what you are talking about, and then they can comment on it later. Having an enemy, for example Microsoft or IBM, helps visualize the problem you are solving. So sometimes these kind of softwares which are so user friendly softwares, they can help you visualize the problem you are solving. So sometimes these kind of visuals are also very helpful while you are making the presentation, and that's another presentation secret. Now simplify your presentation, try to make it as simple as possible, because there is a long road to go, and it also looks very longer than what you have imagined once you are standing on the stage presenting in front of your audiences. So try to make sure that you are going to make your presentation simple and understandable by your audiences. Now another secret is that make numbers meaningful. For example, stores your camera, this camera or this USB stores 1000 songs, not 5 GB memory. Now see, these kind of technical terms like 5 GB, 10 GB and MPH and all these kind of technical terms are not easily understandable by everyone. So try to make sure that you are going to keep your words simple, and then you are going to keep these numbers meaningful by telling them that it stores 1000 songs in this USB. Don't use a bullet point style visuals. Instead, use short phrases that accompany your talk or picture. So do not use the full sentences in your presentation. Try to make bullets, try to make small phrases, and try to use words for which you have this margin of elaboration. Practice, 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 and ask for feedback. So you are every time going to practice, maybe in front of the mirror for your presentation, and maybe you can call in your friend, maybe you can call in your sister, brother, mother, anyone, and present in front of them, practice in front of them, so that they can give you a good feedback, so that once you are going to present finally on the stage, you are going to win this contest. Now moving on to the second example of our sample presentations that we are watching today. I hope you will enjoy these presentations, and I hope that you are going to make good presentations on your own once you are going to see these samples. I will make sure that I am going to share every possible information with you regarding these presentations, so that you can get to know that how to become one expert presenter. So without wasting time, I hope you are so much enthusiastic to learn about this presentation. Let's click on that. Let's watch our sample number 2. Footnotes. The whole object of travel is not to set foot on foreign land. It is at last to set foot on one's own country as a foreign land. That the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. Enjoy. Don't walk in front of me. I may not follow, don't walk behind me. I may not lead, just walk beside me and be my friend. I hope you have enjoyed watching sample number 2. So what did you find in the sample number 2? Yes, that was beautiful. Why? Because along with where the feet of this lady have been, she has captured the image of every possible ground on which these feet have been there. So this is how you see these winners of these contests have made these presentations look beautiful with the help of images. Now the second sample that I have shown you was related to the images that I want you to insert in your pictures that will look relevant and that to look related with your presentation topic. Now moving on to sample number 3, I hope you are going to enjoy that too, and let's without wasting time, let's move on and watch that too. Shift happens. Did you know? Sometimes size does matter. If you are 1 in a million in China, there are 1300 people just like you. In India, there are 1100 people just like you. The 25% of the population in China with the highest IQs is greater than the total population of North America. In India, it's the top 28%. To translate it, they have more honor kids than we have kids. Did you know? China will soon become the #1 English-speaking country in the world. If you took every single job in US today and shipped it to China, China would still have a labor surplus. During the course of this presentation, 60 babies will be born in US, 244 babies will be born in China, and 351 babies will be born in India. The US Department of Labor estimates that today's learner will have 10 to 14 jobs. By the age of 38, 1 out of 4 workers today is working for a company they have been employed by for less than 1 year. More than 1 out of 2 are working for a company they have worked for less than 5 years. According to former Secretary of Education Richard Riley, the top 10 in-demand jobs in 2010 did not exist in 2004. We are currently preparing students for their jobs that don't yet exist. Using the technologies that haven't been invented. In order to solve problems, we don't even know our problems yet. Pop quiz for you. Name this country, which is richest in the world, which has got the largest military, which is the center of world business and finance, the strongest education system, which is the world center of innovation and invention, currency, the world standard of value, and which has the highest standard of living. England in 1900. Did you know? The US ranks 20th in the world in broadband internet penetration. In 2002, Nintendo invested more than $140 million in research and development. The US federal government spent less than half as much as research and innovation in education. 1 out of 8 couples married in the US last year met online. There are over 106 million registered users of MySpace. If MySpace were a country, it would be the 11th largest in the world. The average MySpace page is visited 30 times per day. Did you know? We are living in exponential times. Did you know? We are living in exponential times. There are over 2.7 billion searches performed on Google each month. To whom were the questions addressed before Google? The number of text messages sent and received every day exceeds the total population of the planet. There are about 54 lakh words in English language. There are about 5,40,000 words in English language. About as many as during Shakespeare times. about 5 times as many as during Shakespeare times. More than 3,000 new books are published every day. It is estimated that a week's worth of New York Times contains It is estimated that a week's worth of New York Times contains more information than a person was likely to come across in a lifetime in 18th century. It is estimated that 40 exabytes of unique new information will be generated worldwide this year. That is more than in the previous 5,000 years. The amount of new technical information is doubling every 2 years. For students starting a 4-year technical or college degree, this means that half of what they learn in their first year of study will be outdated by their 3rd year of study. By 2010, it is predicted to double every 72 hours. 3rd generation fiber optics have recently been separately tested by NEC and Alcatel that carry 10 trillion bits per second down a single strand of fiber. That is 1900 series or 150 million phone calls every second. It is currently tripling every 6 months and is expected to do so for the next 20 years. Electronic paper will eventually be cheaper than real paper. 47 million laptops were shipped worldwide last year. The $100 laptop project is expecting to ship between 50 and 100 million laptops a year to children in underdeveloped countries. Predictions are that by 2013, a supercomputer will be built that exceeds the computation capability of the human brain. And while technical predictions further out than about 15 years are hard to do, predictions are that by 2049, $1,000 computer will exceed the computational capabilities of the entire human species. So what does it all mean? Shift happens. Now you know. Thank you. Welcome back. I hope you have enjoyed watching sample number 3 of the presentations that I have brought for you. I hope that you have now some inspiration of that how well you can use numbers in your presentation, elaborate the numbers, how well you can use this structure of your presentation, how you can insert in these visual aids which are relevant to whatever you are saying. Instead of talking too much, what you can do is that with the help of text on the slides, what you can do is that you can display the picture and somewhat elaborate that in front of the reader with the help of words, so that even if you are talking from the background, the reader is able to see that what exactly you mean. But don't forget that you are to appear on the stage and to present in front of the audience your caliber and your talent and your confidence, as well as your presentation slides also. Now moving on, let's quickly discuss that what other things you can use to make your presentations look much better and presentable in front of the group of people. Now the first thing that you are supposed to keep in mind is developing the attitude for a successful public speaker. That is point number 1 that you are supposed to remember. Now keep in mind, first of all, just keep in mind that you know your subject. So you are the one who has decided to deliver the presentation on, or maybe your tutor has assigned one topic to you and you are working on that. Now out of the whole audience who are sitting in front of you, only you are the one who has read the largest details about the topic that you are supposed to present on the stage. So remember that thing in mind, and that is going to help you overcome your nervousness, and also in a way that once you know that I only know about this topic topic thoroughly, and I have read about this topic thoroughly. Only in this way you can prove yourself in front of the audiences sitting right in front of the people. Now the second thing is know your material well, be the expert. Now that's about the material. If you know your subject well, of course the material that you have gathered, you are supposed to know that well too. Your primary duty is to understand what your audience needs to know. Now that you know your material and you know your topic, your primary duty is to make your audiences understand of whatever you are delivering to them. Also understand the needs of the audiences, that what do they know, what do they need to know and what do they not need to know regarding the topic of your presentation. So you are to make sure that whatever topic that you pick up for your presentation should be understood by you thoroughly first of all, and then you can present that topic in front of your audiences easily. Now prepare the message and supporting materials in a way that delivers your message clearly and powerfully. Now your supporting material, whatsoever you are choosing to make and to convey your message powerfully and clearly, should be elaborated in such a way that your audience is being convinced with that, they understand what you are talking about. So your supporting material, either you are making use of these PowerPoint slides, either you are bringing in the demonstration, or you are using flip charts, anything, any supporting material you are using, try to make sure that is going to make things clear for your audience rather than they are going to confuse them. So once you pick your topic, try to make sure that you thoroughly read your topic. Once you have thoroughly read your topic, your primary goal is to make sure that you understand that what audiences needs are, and accordingly you are going to elaborate your topic in front of them, and try to make sure that the supporting details that you are using during your presentation should be the clear one and should be powerfully conveyed. Now we are developing the attitude of successful public speaker, which I want you to become one in front of your whole class. Now another thing that you are supposed to remember, the step number 2, is remember that the stage fright is normal and be open about it. Now this stage fear or the stage fright is also very common, as we have already discussed in our previous lectures as well, that this stage fear is always there, no matter whatever age you reach and whatever point of life you are in. So this stage fear is normal and this is there for everyone. So try to make sure that how you can overcome and how you can this fear and how you can feel normal in front of the audiences. Practice your presentation and do the pilot tests. As I said in the previous slides also, that you are going to practice your presentation most of the times, and try to make sure. Then once you are going to practice your presentation, try to stand in front of the mirror and try to see your facial expressions, your physical gestures, your body movement, the way you are talking, your loudness of the voice, your pitch, everything. So try to judge yourself, try to make these pilot tests. Maybe you go to the venue one day before and take along your friend, stand on the rostrum podium and try to talk to your friend, try to see that how well you can present on the stage while assuming that there are all the audiences sitting, and then get the feedback from your friend that what does he has to say. So this kind of pilot testing while you are trying to prepare for your presentation is very important. Get the audience to participate. Now another thumb rule that how what kind of attitude you're supposed to bring in you while you are talking about while you are trying to make your presentation look better, that you are going to get the audience's participation maximum. Now in other words, it means that invite participation from the audiences who are involved in your presentation, and try to see that how well you can question answer them, and how you can involve them by telling them any story, or by telling them or pouring in some humor in your presentation. So this is how you can invite their participation well during your presentations. Now establish a rapport by using names and eye contact. As I told you earlier that you are supposed to establish that rapport thing during your presentations, and try to make sure that audiences, they get familiar with you before you actually prepare or before you actually start your presentation, because once they are going to get familiar with you, once you will learn their names, it will be easier for you to present on the stage. Remember, I told you that it is very easy to talk in front of the friends rather than talking to the strangers. So your prior goal and your primary objective is to comfort yourself while you are standing on the stage, because this stage fright is everywhere during every age, any point of age you reach. So to overcome that, try to remember all these rules which I am telling you, and to as to deliver a best presentation ever. Then establish and check the equipment. Now that you are done with establishing the rapport, also remember that you are to work on the eye contact along with the rapport. You are supposed to develop this eye contact with your audiences, and also see that while standing on the stage, how you can look at everyone, how you can make them feel that you are looking at them, and how you can grab their attention, and how you can tell them that the presentation has been designed for you, so please watch it. So this is all your eye communication. You are telling them through eyes. You are not using, or you are not making use of any words. Now establish and check the equipment. So another thing that you are supposed to do is to check your equipment thoroughly and establish this connection with your equipment. Try to see that where is the mouse, where is the screen that you are supposed to see. Try to check for the those remote controls which actually operates the slides, and also see also see where are the wires placed, so that you are not going to fall down on the ground by just sticking to one into your feet. Now these are the few things that you are supposed to develop, through which you are supposed to develop your attitude of your presentation. Now the third thing that you are supposed to, third step that is related to developing the attitude of a successful public speaker, is that research your audience, get acquainted with at least one or two audiences. Now as I told you and I kept telling you throughout our presentations, that once you are presenting on the stage, you become the host, and all of the other people, they become the guests. So be the host and try to welcome them into the presentation, and try to see that how smartly you can make them involved in the presentation. Relax, breathe deeply, visualize yourself successfully. So once you are going to relax your jaws, your eyes, your facial expressions, once you are going to relax yourself, once you are going to develop this confidence that you know everything and you can do it well, of course I am sure that you will do it well. Dress comfortably and appropriately. Try to wear those things in which you are comfortable. Even now, don't forget that they should be the formal ones. Do not wear too much tight clothes, or do not wear such things which can be of diversion for your audiences, or any dressing in which you are uncomfortable. Try to wear those colors in which you look decent and that suit your personality. So this is how you can dress up appropriately for your presentation. Because if you are uncomfortable with your dressing, you will be uncomfortable while presenting on the stage, and if you are uncomfortable while presenting on the stage, that is going to create another uncomfort level for you to make your presentation chaos. Now use your own style, do not imitate anyone. Now there are some of the presenters who are already so much impressed by some of the speakers around, and they try to imitate them. Like some people, they try to use these hand movements for imitating someone else. Some of the presenters, they try to imitate the accent of other people while they are presenting on the stage. Do not do that. Stay and stick to your original style, because your original style is the unique one. Because since they did not copy anyone and they became unique, you should not copy anyone and you should become unique, because you are unique. Now use audio visual aids for a visual impact. Now as I've shown you these visual, the use of the pictures and graphics in the sample presentations, how well they have been used. Now see, they have been supporting, or they've been enhancing the text written on them. So these audio visual aids are basically shown to see that how supportive they can be to make these visual effects, or to make this visual impact important for the audiences, because audiences, once they see anything, they are more into it, and they are being, you know, kind of motivated by what you have to tell them. Now while planning your presentation, this is the most critical step in the preparation, is the understanding the purpose of your presentation, especially when you are being assigned any topic by your course tutor or by your teacher. Now you should, first of all, while you are planning your presentation, try to make sure that you understand the purpose of your presentation. Then try to see why I am giving this presentation. If I am giving this for the marks, if I am giving this presentation to obtain good marks, and so on and so forth. So what do I want the audience to know or to do at the end of presentation? So what is my basic purpose that I am supposed to achieve, and where what do I actually want my audiences to know through my presentation? Because you are putting so much effort in it, so don't let these questions go in vain. You should know that why are you standing on the stage. You should know that what is your purpose of standing on the stage. I am standing on the stage because I want you to learn about presentation skills. So my aim is clear. So keeping that thing is in mind, I am able to tell you everything about presentation skills that I know, and you are welcome to ask questions. So this is how you are going to address your audiences, and this is how you are going to make clear. Now what is in there for them? Why are you telling them about your topic? They should be interested because you should tell them the learning outcomes, that how what kind of the benefits they will get after watching your presentation, or after listening your presentation carefully. How do I want the audience to feel? So this is the next thing that you are supposed to keep in mind while planning for your presentation, that how do you want your audience to feel about your presentation and about your topic. Know your audiences thoroughly. If you are going to do so, you should know that why should they listen to you. Answering this question is going to help you decide that why your audience should listen to you. So if this answer is clear in your mind, only then you are able to let or make your audiences listen to you carefully. How does what you say affect them? So whatever you are saying, how is it affecting them? This is another thing that you are supposed to keep in mind while you are thinking of the audiences who are sitting in front of you and who are watching you so enthusiastic, with so much enthusiasm and with so much vigor. Now what is in it for them to listen to you? So you are supposed to make sure that why should they listen to you, and what is in their presentation that they should listen to. So that was another point that you are supposed to keep in mind while making your presentation. So why is it important for the audience to hear what you have to say? So you should keep in mind the importance of the presentation and importance of the material that you are presenting in front of the audiences. Collect information about what the audience expect to hear. So try to collect as much information as you can related to the topic which you feel that the audience may be interested in listening to, and how you can make these audiences listen to what you have to tell them. Now moving on to the sections of a presentation. Now there are 3 sections of a presentation. The first one is introduction, the second one is main body, and the third one is the conclusion. Now let's discuss all of them in detail one by one, so that you can recall everything that we have learned so far during our presentation skills. Now the first thing that you are supposed to remember is the introduction. Now keeping in mind that what and how you are supposed to tackle with, and how you are supposed to take care of this introduction for taking the attention and convincing them to listen to you. Now you introduce your topic in front of your audiences because you want their attention, to want to grab their attention and to convince them that why should they listen to you. Never apologize for anything wrong. That's another thumb rule that you are supposed to keep in mind. Make your audience audience think that they are going to be informed, entertained and enlightened by your presentation. Start your speech with POWER. Now this speech carries two of the E's. Let's write it down so that you don't have any confusion, like this. Alright, start your speech with power. Now, as much as you look enthusiastic, your audiences will also be involved and they will also feel confident while sitting on their places that something good is going to happen. Now there are some main elements in the introduction. We are going to share this point number 1 with you. Begin your talk with an attention getter. Now you are supposed to begin your talk by grabbing the attention of your audiences with an interest, story or a question. You can either tell them a story, or you can also tell them a question, or pour in a question, or float a question for them so that they are going to get interested and they are going to get attentive towards your presentation. Next, tell what is in front of them. Let them know that your information is relevant to their needs, and increase your credibility by relating something about your background and expertise. So try to tell them that why are you standing there and how well you can present that topic in front of them, because you have your area, because this is your area and you can present that very well in front of your audiences. Now a main element in the introduction, the second part, is that present your agenda, the outline. Now your outline is very important while your agenda is very important while you are presenting on the stage. Tell them what you are going to tell them. Tell them what you just told them. So tell them again and again about your agenda, that what you are going to talk in your presentation. So what do you expect of the audience? Inform them a question answer session, etc. So you are, in other words, going to tell them the ground rules and the agenda of your presentation, that what are going to be the topics that you are going to discuss in your presentation. Then talking about the main body, this is your part number 1 of your main body that we are going to discuss. Deliver what you promised in the shortest and most interesting way. Keep in mind the structuring your message, that attention cycle, pacing and use repetition of remembering. So if there is the repetition, try to use different words as I have shown you in the samples as well. There should be the pace of the presentation, yet that should not collapse, and the attention cycle should be consistent throughout. Use stories and examples for connection and association. So stories, telling these stories can be used as the examples and connections in the presentation. Use intensity of tone of your voice, colors and bolds are visual for the visual intensity, as you have seen in the sample presentations also, that how these colors have been used to emphasize on the words. Use visuals, hand graphics, statistics and group participation, etc. So these techniques can be used. During your conclusion of your presentation, repeat your main idea or begin with let's review the main points we have covered so far. So as you summarize your presentation or as you conclude your presentation, try to give them the summary. Last opportunity, this is your last opportunity to emphasize the main points that you were delivering your presentation on. Must be strong and persuasive, and you call for the encourage appropriate action from the your audiences. Now what are you supposed to do in visuals while you are inserting these visuals in your presentation? Check for the equipment, if your sample or if the things or the visuals that you want to bring into your presentation, if they are available or not. For example, overhead projector, multimedia, flip charts, and banners and so on. Present one idea per slide. So your one slide should carry one idea, as I have shown you in the sample presentations as well. Use a dark background and light lettering. So that's up to you if you want to use light lettering and dark background, or a lighter background with a dark lettering. Use maximum 6 lines per slide and maximum 6 words per slide, or that can also be dragged down to the 8 per line and 8 per slides, but that is the last limit. This is the maximum number that you are supposed to use in your presentation. Keep slides simple, clean, and 1/3 of the portion should be left clean while you are using these visuals. What are you supposed to avoid in visuals? That the crowded information should be avoided. Turn your back to the audience is also not a very good idea. Just reading lines like notes is also supposed to be proven wrong once you want to deliver a good presentation. Go back in slides for repeating. Don't go back and don't move back to your slides for because it gives your audience an impression that you are forgetting from the previous slides. Turn off the lights any longer than necessary. So if you want your audience to forget about what you are watching, try to press B. The slides will go off and then you can explain in your words that what you are talking about. Now this almost brings us to the end of today's lecture. Before we say goodbye to each other, let's quickly watch this video that how you can stand behind the stage or on the rostrum and deliver very good presentations for your audiences.
Our next speaker is Doug Zonker. Doug wrote an article which we published in the Annals not too long ago. And I don't feel, although I think I'm not bad as a writer or as an editor, I do not feel capable of summarizing this article. That's why I asked Doug to present it himself. So here is Doug.
Chicken, 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 chicken. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Chicken, chicken, chicken. Chicken, 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 chicken. Chickens, 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 chickens. Chicken, 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 chicken,
Are there any questions?
Your research funded by Colonel Sanders?
Chicken. Chicken, chicken.
Last question.
Chicken, 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 chicken. Chicken, 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 chicken.
Chicken, 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 chicken.
I hope you have enjoyed watching video chicken. So see how he was so much confident in presenting his ideas about the chicken, and then how well he handled the question answer session so confidently. So with that, I hope you would have enjoyed watching these sample videos and sample presentations, and I hope that these sample videos and sample presentations have been one inspiration for you. This is a list from where these videos have been downloaded especially for you. I am Manila Noshin, signing off from your lecture number 31. I'll see you in my next lecture. That is going to be the last lecture of our semester. I wish you a very good luck for making one good presentation ever. Be the expert presenter, relax and enjoy. Take good care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.